Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dede Talks, the Art of Specialty Lenses. Today, we have very special guests with us. We have the winners from the Optometry Student Challenge, sponsored by ABB and Cooper Vision Specialty. The Optometry Student Challenge is out for third and fourth year students to submit abstracts and have posters submitted to GSLS as winners. GSLS is in January every year, and these are our three winners that will be presenting their posters at GSLS this year. Our winners are Travis Pfeiffer from SUNY, Marcia Zaman, Nova, and William Hong, also from SUNY. So SUNY was well represented for us this year. Welcome, you guys, and thanks for being with us today. So I'm very proud of you guys for doing what you've done. Your posters are fabulous. And I just kind of want to touch base with you to kind of feel out how your experience was with the Optometry Student Challenge. So Travis, tell us a little bit about your experience with the Optometry Challenge.
Yeah, so all the way from first year, I was interested in the ABB Challenge because that year we had another duo of SUNY winners, Elton and Susie. So I started talking to some of the contact lens faculty, and then eventually my advisor, Dr. K. We started looking at a few things that we might be able to submit. And then I just stumbled upon a really good case and decided to write it up. And then that's how I ended up here.
Fantastic. Okay, Marcia, tell us a little bit about your experience.
I actually heard about the ABB Optical Challenge from last year's winner, Dr. Veronia Abadir, and she actually encouraged me to apply for GSLS. And just like Travis, I ended up stumbling upon two very cool cases. So I was very lucky.
Fantastic. And William, what tips would you give to future students wanting to get involved in the Optometry Student Challenge?
Well, you could be lucky like Travis and know about this from first year. So he's had 3 years prepared for this. I kind of found out about this last year, so I've had about half the time. So, I mean, at SUNY, we have a wonderful faculty that encourages us to, look at hard cases, challenging cases, and see what we can present. So if you have a faculty member that, you look up to, I would ask them pretty early on to help you out. And obviously they've all done posters, so they can help you with that. And the other thing I would recommend is look for your challenging cases. I know Marcia found amazing cases about patients who are post-surgical with cancer. Travis found this case that's about a patient you wouldn't think would wear contact lenses, and he managed to get them to fit in contact lenses. So I challenge the future students to look for these challenging cases rather than your healthy 19-year-olds wearing soft contact lenses.
Exactly. And one of the things I'm going to challenge you guys to do is to reach out to fellow students and students in the grades that are below you and really encourage them to walk through this process, because it's a great learning process for everybody. So Travis, back to you. As a young and up-and-coming practitioner, what do you feel that you'll focus on in the future?
Yeah, so I'm currently in the process of applying for contact lens residencies. But after that, I'm originally from Colorado, and Colorado just passed a law expanding scope. So in the future, I want to open up a special lens practice that focuses around fitting contact lenses. And then I want to incorporate corneal cross-linking as well to help take that fear factor out, so that instead of referring this young kid that might need cross-linking to a corneal specialist, it's their every year contact lens fitter that is handling their full scope corneal care.
Fantastic. All right, William, if you could ask an industry leader one question, what would it be?
I asked them what technology that they think is coming in the very near future or is actually coming out right now that they're most excited about. I know I just heard in my dry eye rotation, we're hearing about all these new treatments for dry eye. There's IPL and other sorts of analogous serums. So I just ask them what technology excites them the most and how can I incorporate that into my practice in the future.
Marcia, if you could ask an industry leader one question, what would it be?
So I've read some articles recently that talk about using contact lenses as reservoirs for medications or as drug delivery systems. When can we start to see this in the market?
Fantastic. And I think it's a lot closer than you think. Travis, if you could ask an industry leader one question, what would that be?
if I got the opportunity to ask that industry leader, I would ask them what innovations they've thought of that haven't worked, and then try to learn from that to see why they haven't worked and how we might make them work in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah, we all learn from our mistakes, and growth is good. I've been in the industry almost 40 years, and there's been a lot of changes in the industry in that period of time, and it's all from learning from one mistake to another. So, Marcia, for you, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
After completing a contact lens and cornea residency, I would love to work in a group practice where I'd be able to fit complicated specialty lens cases. And in order to do that, focus on being the best doctor that I can for my patients, which entails keeping up with the most current materials and fitting practices, as well as attending any educational conferences.
All right, William. As a young and upcoming practitioner, what do you feel you'll focus on in the future?
Well, obviously, with my experience here, I'd like to continue focusing on specialty contact lenses. I've seen for myself in clinic how much our specialty contact lenses can improve quality of life. I'd also love to focus on myopia control. I myself am a very high myope, so I'd love to get back to community as well. And from what I'm seeing, the optometry field is heading more toward a medical sort of optometry. So I'd love to also work with ophthalmologists, work in the pre-op, post-op type care, kind of working together in cataracts or other surgeries as well.
Well, and we hope to see as the industry grows, we hope to see the three O's working together more closely. We see that coming more and more. I've been in the industry a long time, and there's been a lot of changes that have gone on over these years. And I'm really proud of you guys as students moving forward and taking that grasp to grow practices and move forward and grow the business of optometry, and work with both opticians and optometrists or ophthalmologists. So Travis, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, so kind of taking a note from the ABB Student Challenge, I want to continue researching as well in my practice and continue publishing. It's actually been a pretty big goal of mine to eventually kind of hit the national stage and give back to the optometry community through either developing a new lens or publishing new data or just finding something out that we don't know yet.
Fantastic. And again, I encourage you to work with your labs for anything like that, because they're very willing to work with you. All right, everyone, I want you to tell us a little bit about your posters. Give us the titles and a little bit about what they're about. Marcia, tell us a little bit about your poster.
Okay, so the title of my poster is The Therapeutic Effects of Scleral Lenses in Patients Post-Mohs Surgery with Exposure Keratopathy, a mini case series. So that's a mouthful. So we had two different patients who were referred to us by their oculoplastic surgeon. They both had the Mohs procedure performed, and they were both suffering from exposure keratopathy. We used large diameter scleral lenses in order to mitigate the effects of the exposure keratopathy. And I think our study highlights the importance of co-managing with oculoplastic specialists, as well as how scleral lenses can improve the quality of life.
William, tell us a little bit about your poster.
Sure. My poster was called Spontaneous Bilateral Corneal Abrasions Related to Improper Contact Lens Removal and Dry Eye. Our patient basically came in with very unusual presentation of corneal abrasions, really large ones in both eyes, but she had no injury and no systemic disorders. So after we had a very thorough case history and a very thorough slit lamp exam, we basically figured out that she just had severe dry eye and basically injured herself by removing the contact lenses. We also used anterior seg OCT to track our progress in the case, to monitor her healing, and also just to give her some reinforcement and just reassure her that she was in fact healed. So we use technology to help us in our case.
Fantastic. All right, Travis, tell us a little bit about your poster.
Yeah, so my poster is called Reshaping Dry Eye in an Adult Patient Despite Poor Candidacy. So my patient was a soft contact lens wearer who was very motivated to continue contact lens wear, even though he was not tolerating his soft contact lenses at all. We explored a few options and settled on pursuing orthokeratology, even though he had flatter than average corneas and higher than average corneal cylinder, which made the fitting complicated. But once we got the lenses all settled, then his dry eye symptoms were alleviated by switching lens modalities.
I'd like to encourage all of you attending GSLS to come by and see these student posters. Are fantastic. I'd like to thank ABB for their support of the Optometry Student Challenge along with Cooper Vision Specialty. And I'd like to thank ABB for their support for Dede Talks, the Art of Specialty Lenses.